Number 10. Kaguyasama wa Koku Rusetai, Tensaitachi no Rinai Zunosen. At the renowned Shuchen Academy, Miyuki Shirogane and Kaguya Shinomiya are the student body's top representatives. Ranked the top student in the nation and respected by peers and mentors alike, Miyuki serves as the student council president. Alongside him, the vice president Kaguya, eldest daughter of the wealthy Shinomiya family, excels in every field imaginable. They are the envy of the entire student body, regarded as the perfect couple. However, despite both having already developed feelings for the other, neither are willing to admit them. The first to confess loses, will be looked down upon, and will be considered the lesser. With their honor and pride at stake, Miyuki and Kaguya are both equally determined to be the one to emerge victorious on the battlefield of love. Number 9. 5 Toba no Hanayome Second Season. Futaro Usagi is an ace high school student, but leads an otherwise tough life. His standoffish personality and reclusive nature have left him friendless, and his father is debt-ridden, forcing his family to scrape by. One day during his lunch break, Usagi argues with a female transfer student who has claimed his seat, leading both of them to dislike each other. That same day, he is presented with a golden opportunity to clear his family's debt, a private tutoring gig for a wealthy family's daughter with a wage of 5 times the market price. He accepts the proposal, but is horrified to discover that the client, Itsuki Nanako, is the girl he confronted earlier. After unsuccessfully trying to get back on Itsuki's good side, Usagi finds out that his problems don't even end there. Itsuki is actually a quintuplet, so in addition to her, he must also tutor her sisters, Miku, Yotsuba, Nino, and Ichika, who, despite the very real threat of flunking, want nothing to do with the tutor. However, his family's livelihood is on the line, so Usagi pushes on, adamant in his resolve to rid the sisters of their detest for studying and successfully lead them to graduation. Number 8. Dungeon ni Dii wo Madameru no wa Machigeru Dauru ka 2. It is business as usual in the massive city of Orario, where legions of adventurers gather to explore the monster-infested dungeon. Among them is the easily flustered yet brave Bel Cranel, the sole member of the Hestia Familia. With the help of his demi-human supporter Lilaruka Arde and competent blacksmith Welf Crozo, Bel has earned the title of Little Rookie by becoming Orario's fastest-growing adventurer thanks to his endeavors within the deeper levels of the dungeon. Dungeon ni Dii wo Madameru no wa Machigeru Daruka 2 continues Bel's journey's adventure as he tries to bring glory to his goddess and protect those he cares about. However, various familias and gods across the city begin to take notice of his achievements and attempt to add him to their ranks. Number 7. Mahoukou no Ratone. In the dawn of the 21st century, magic, long thought to be folklore and fairy tales, has become systematized technology and is taught as a technical skill. In First High School, the institution for magicians, students are segregated into 2 groups based on their entrance exam scores. Blooms are those who received high scores and are assigned to the first course, while Weeds are reserve students assigned to the second course. Mahoukou no Ratone follows the siblings Tatsuya and Miyuka Shiba, who are enrolled in First High School. Upon taking the exam, the prodigious Miyuki is placed in the first course, while Tatsuya is relegated to the second course. Though his practical test scores and status as a Weed show him to be magically inept, he possesses extraordinary technical knowledge, physical combat capabilities, and unique magical techniques, making Tatsuya the irregular at a magical high school. ReZero Kara Hajimeru Isekai Sekatsu. When Subaru Natsuki leaves the convenience store, the last thing he expects is to be wrenched from his everyday life and dropped into a fantasy world. Things aren't looking good for the bewildered teenager. However, not long after his arrival, he is attacked by some thugs. Armed with only a bag of groceries and a now useless cell phone, he is quickly beaten to a pulp. Fortunately, a mysterious beauty named Soletta, in hot pursuit after the ones who stole her insignia, happens upon Subaru and saves him. In order to thank the honest and kind-hearted girl, Subaru offers to help her search, and later that night, he even finds the whereabouts of that which she seeks. But unbeknownst to them, a much darker force stalks the pair from the shadows, and just minutes after locating the insignia, Subaru and Satella are brutally murdered. However, Subaru immediately reawakens to a familiar scene. Confronted by the same group of thugs, meeting Satella all over again. The enigma deepens as history inexplicably repeats itself. Number 5. Tensei Shitara Slime Data Ken Second Season. 37-year-old Satoru Mikami is a typical corporate worker who is perfectly content with his monotonous lifestyle in Tokyo, other than failing to nail down a girlfriend even once throughout his entire life. In the midst of a casual encounter with his colleague, he falls victim to a random assailant on the streets and is stabbed. However, while succumbing to his injuries, a peculiar voice echoes in his mind and recites a bunch of commands which the dying man cannot make sense of. When Satoru regains consciousness, he discovers that he has reincarnated as a goop of slime in an unfamiliar realm. In doing so, he acquires newfound skills, notably the power to devour anything and mimic its appearance and abilities. He then stumbles upon the sealed catastrophe-level monster, Storm Dragon Veldora, who has been sealed away for the past 300 years for devastating a town to ashes. Sympathetic to his predicament, Satoru befriends him, promising to assist in destroying the seal. In return, Veldora bestows upon him the name Rimuru Tempest to grant him divine protection. Now liberated from the mundanities of his past life, Rimuru embarks on a fresh journey with a distinct goal in mind. As he grows accustomed to his new physique, his gooey antics ripple throughout the world, gradually altering his fate. Number 4. Golden Komoi 3rd Season. In Hokkaido, the far northern lands of Japan, Sugimoto survived the Russo-Japanese War of the Meiji era. Nicknamed Sugimoto the Immortal during the war, he now seeks the riches promised by the gold rush in hopes of saving the widowed wife of his now-deceased comrade from the war. During his hunt of gold, he finds hints of a hidden stash of gold by corrupt criminals. Partnering with an Ainu girl that saves his life from the harsh climates of the north, they venture into a survival adventure to race against the criminals that seek the hidden stash. Number 3. Kobayashisan no Maid Dragon 2nd Season. As Kobayashi sets off for another day at work, she opens her apartment door only to be met by an unusually frightening sight: the head of a dragon staring at her from across the balcony. The dragon immediately transforms into a cute, busty, and energetic young girl dressed in a maid outfit, introducing herself as Toaru. It turns out that the stoic programmer had come across the dragon the previous night on a drunken excursion to the mountains, and since the mythical beast had nowhere else to go, she offered the creature a place to stay in her home. Thus, Toaru had arrived to cash in on the offer, ready to repay her savior's kindness by working as her personal maidservant. Though deeply regretful of her words and hesitant to follow through on her promise, a mix of guilt and Toru's incredible dragon abilities convinces Kobayashi to take the girl in. Despite being extremely efficient at her job, the maid's unorthodox methods of housekeeping often end up horrifying Kobayashi and at times bring more trouble than help. Furthermore, the circumstances behind the dragon's arrival on Earth seem to be much more complicated than at first glance, as Toru bears some heavy emotions and painful memories. To top it all off, Toru's presence ends up attracting several other mythical beings to her new home, bringing in a host of eccentric personalities. Although Kobayashi makes her best effort to handle the crazy situation that she has found herself in, nothing has prepared her for this new life with a dragon maid. Number 1. Tate no Yuusha no Nonari Agari. The 4 cardinal heroes are a group of ordinary men from modern-day Japan summoned to the kingdom of Mellermark to become its saviors. Mellermark is a country plagued by the waves of catastrophe that have repeatedly ravaged the land and brought disaster to its citizens for centuries. The 4 heroes are respectively bestowed a sword, spear, bow, and shield to vanquish these waves. Now Fumi Iwatani, an otaku, becomes cursed with the fate of being the shield hero. Armed with only a measly shield, Naofumi is belittled and ridiculed by his fellow heroes and the kingdom's people due to his weak offensive capabilities and lackluster personality.
Is the future.
Number 1. Yakusoku No Neverland 2nd Season. Surrounded by a forest and a gated entrance, the Gracefield house is inhabited by orphans happily living together as one big family, looked after by their mama, Isabella. Although they are required to take tests daily, the children are free to spend their time as they see fit, usually playing outside as long as they do not venture too far from the orphanage, a rule they are expected to follow no matter what. However, all good times must come to an end, as every few months, a child is adopted and sent to live with their new family, never to be heard from again. However, the 3 oldest siblings have their suspicions about what is actually happening at the orphanage, and they are about to discover the cruel fate that awaits the children living at Gracefield, including the twisted nature of their beloved mama.
Alright everyone, that's it for today's video. Did you guys enjoy this list? Or find any anime you're interested in? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments, and please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're new, remember to turn on notifications for more upcoming top 10 videos.